Hello everyone, welcome back to Talking History. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you all keeping well. So for this week's video, I thought we'd stay in Scotland a little bit longer. I enjoyed our trip so much last week, I wanted to stay. Last week was William I. If you haven't seen that yet, I will link it somewhere for you to find and watch. But this week is all about his wife, his queen, Ermengarde de Beaumont. There's very little known about Ermengarde, who'd married the King of Scotland, William I, also known as William the Lion, in 1186, when William was aged 43 and Ermengarde was barely a teenager. Ermengarde was chosen by King Henry II of England as a wife for the King of Scotland. Ermengarde was born in 1170, although her exact date of birth is unknown. Ermengarde's father was Richard I, Viscount de Beaumont, son of Constance or Maud Fitzroy, who was the illegitimate daughter to King Henry I of England. Ermengarde's mother was Lucy de Lagla. I really hope I pronounced that right. I apologise if I haven't. There's nothing known of Ermengarde's childhood in France. Ermengarde only came to light when she was mentioned as a wife to William the Lion. William became Earl of Northumberland aged 14, in 1157 by his brother Malcolm IV. By then, Henry II of England had taken everything back that William's grandfather, King David I of Scotland, had acquired during the anarchy. This was something that William was never able to forget. And when William succeeded his brother as King of Scotland in 1165, he made it his mission to get Northumberland back. In 1173, King Henry II's sons rebelled and William joined them. William was captured at the Battle of Alnwick and was taken in chains to Falaise in Normandy. When William was in captivity, King Henry invaded the north of Scotland and took several castles. William was forced to negotiate with Henry, and the result was the Treaty of Falaise, swearing to King Henry that Scotland was under English rule, and that would last for the next 15 years. King Henry II had taken his duties as overlord seriously. Henry wanted to choose William's bride in 1186. William, aged 43, was unmarried, and William had asked Henry to marry his granddaughter Matilda of Saxony, but that was refused. So instead, Henry chose the daughter of a French nobleman, Ermengarde de Beaumont, who was a cousin to Henry. Henry paid for the wedding and for the festivities. Henry had returned Edinburgh Castle as part of Ermengarde's dowry. Ermengarde was brought over to England by her parents and was married to William in the Royal Chapel at Woodstock near Oxford on the 5th of September 1186. Ermengarde was described as being an extraordinary woman, gifted with a charming and witty eloquence. Together they had 4 children that survived childhood: Margaret in 1193, Isabella in 1195, Alexander in 1198, and Marjorie in 1200. William had many illegitimate children, but they were all born before he married Ermengarde. After the death of Henry II, William aligned with his successor, Richard the Lionheart, and had the Treaty of Falaise nullified, and William paid him 10,000 marks, and Richard used that money to go on crusade. Richard's successor, John, would prove to be aggressive in maintaining the dominance over Scotland, and there were periods of fighting and negotiations which lasted from 1193 to 1209, by which William finally came to an agreement with John. In 1210, there were severe storms in Scotland, and William, now aging and becoming increasingly ill, others were beginning to fight for his throne. But William wanted to secure the succession for his son, Alexander. William travelled to England with his family to negotiate with King John in 1212, but it was Ermengarde who is credited with mediating a renegotiation of the 1209 treaty. Prince Alexander's succession was secured, and King John would choose Alexander's bride, his own daughter Joan. Alexander was knighted at Westminster. William, now aged 70, was increasingly unwell, and William relied heavily on Ermengarde to take over some of his duties. There's evidence that Ermengarde wielded considerable influence in public affairs. There's a record of her presiding with the Bishop of St. Andrews over a complex court case. There was a complaint by a canon that a royal chaplain obtained the bishopric of Glasgow by bribing the king and queen. In 1207, Ermengarde's family also benefited from her status as queen. Prince Alexander was also beginning to take on some duties in training and preparation in becoming king. William continued with bouts of illness, but in 1214 he was feeling well enough to travel north to Elgin. I hope I pronounced that right. But the travelling caused him to collapse, and slowly he was brought back to Stirling. William, surrounded by his family, died on the 4th of December 1214, aged 72. Ermengarde was distraught over her husband's death. The next day, Alexander was crowned at Scone, and as there were other claimants to the Scottish throne, so the crowning needed to be done before the old king was buried. 5 days later, William was buried. Ermengarde would live another 20 years, and in that time she devoted herself to her cherished project, a Cistercian abbey in Balmerino. I hope I pronounced that right. I do apologise, in Fife. Ermengarde raised money. She purchased the land and oversaw the construction of the building in 1229. Monks came from Melrose to found a colony, and Ermengarde and Alexander stayed at the abbey many times. Ermengarde died on the 11th of February, aged 63. Ermengarde was buried before the high altar in Balmerino. And there is Ermengarde's story. It's a short video for today, but I really wanted to do a video on Ermengarde. I think I've said it many times before, and I will keep on saying it. Those who may be lost to history also deserve for their story to be told, and everyone deserves their story to be told, no matter how short it may be. They all made an impact in history in one way or another, and it all deserves their time. And there we are. So there we are. I hope you enjoyed today's little video. Thank you so much for joining me, and just thank you. I cannot I can't even speak now. I've lost it. I can't thank you enough for all of your continued support. It really does mean the absolute world. So please do, if you are new, please do hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you get notified every time I've uploaded a video. And just keep liking and sharing, and gives it a big thumbs up, and just, but in the meantime, just keep being you, keep being bloody wonderful. That's what you all are. And I'll see you all next time. Take care.